Hey guys, how you doing? Just figured I'd do a quick little review on the Honda here now that I've gotten some mileage on it. Just got it back. Just picked it up from its 150k 20-hour service. So I just figured I'd get a couple weeks of riding it on it, so I could actually get a feel for it, and then give you an honest kind of opinion of what I think about it and how it's worked out so far. But yeah, I mean, no real complaints. It's been a good unit so far. I haven't put full 20 hours on it yet, but I racked up a little over 150 kilometers. So I'll kind of run you through it and. Okay, so just to do a quick little run through on this thing, there are a bunch of different models that Honda's come out for the 2022 Ranchers. This one in particular is the TRX 420 FM1 4x4. So it's kind of on the lower end of the models, but there's a reason I went that way. The higher end model, you will get that the independent rear suspension, which on this model here, it's not something I wanted because I use it around the farm for pulling implements and pulling a harrow and a few other things. So it works a little better for me as far as pulling stuff goes with the solid rear axle instead of the independent coils. But if you're doing more trail riding, if that's the only thing you're using it for, then 100% I would recommend doing the coils. I have run into a couple little issues on the trail here and there where I definitely could have benefited from the independent rear suspension. Alternatively, you can bump up a Model 2 and you can go up to the Rubicon. It's got a few more bells and whistles. This one here has got the manual shift on it, so it's a 5-speed manual with a reverse, and it does have the shift on the Fly 4x4, which has been a handy feature. Everything's worked really smooth. Really, the only issue I have, the only gripe, if you want to call it that, is the reverse is super stiff. I was warned about that right from the get-go, from the factory, when I picked this thing up, that the shift out of reverse back into neutral is just clunky. You know, if you rock the machine a little bit, you kind of wiggle it around a little, it will, come out a little bit easier, but it takes a little getting used to for sure. But otherwise, all the other gears shift nicely. It's definitely gotten a little bit smoother as I put some more mileage on it. So as I had mentioned, I did have Honda do the first service on this quad here. I generally do most of my own service on them, but part of the initial break-in service in the first 150 kilometer 20-hour service is they double check the valves and everything on it as well. So I just wanted to make sure, especially for warranty, that they kind of had the first run through on it, make sure everything's on the up and up. One of the other features that the Hondas have, which I really like, that's a stock feature that you'd have to pay extra on other quads if you could get it at all, that's the pull start. So that's an absolute bonus to this one here. I use the quad when I'm hunting to kind of get back into the backcountry and then hike in from there. So if the battery lets go and that kind of craps the bed, I could potentially be walking 40-50 kilometers back out to some form of reception in my truck. So if that's something you haven't thought about, that's definitely an option that you kind of want to have. The stock tires have actually been pretty decent so far. I've got no complaints. I haven't needed the 4x4. I've just kind of played around with it just to make sure that I've cycled through everything, but it's actually been really good. distance and fuel mileage has actually been pretty good. It's gotten better as it's broken in already. Even just over these first 150k, I've found the mileage has gotten better. Running the higher octane fuel in it, around 91. It basically says anything above 86, but I've always found with my quads and bikes, higher the octane, the better. Holds about 15, just shy of 15 liters, 14.7 liters with a 4.9 liter reserve. It's 1.2 gallons. And let's see, the last time I took it out, I put about 54 kilometers on it, and I burnt through about just shy of 2/3 of a tank of fuel. So that's actually pretty good mileage as far as I'm concerned on these things. I'll give a quick walk around on it. Lighting, everything's been pretty good on it. I'm gonna upgrade the headlights on it and add light bar and some pod lights. That's just personal preference, but it's been pretty decent so far. And over on this side, you'll notice the pull start's tucked away in here, which is nice. You can't bump into it, you can't do any damage to it. All the panels are pretty user friendly. It's got storage in the back here, and then it comes with a little, if you pop the back end of the seat up, you can get a toolkit and a couple other things out of there. So yeah, close that back up. So there you'll notice that solid rear axle I was talking about with the center shock. This model here has also got the drum brakes on it. If you go up to the higher end model, you're gonna upgrade to disc brakes along with that independent rear suspension. So another thing you can kind of think about. And then handy little panels. Everything here is kind of tucked in. Pop that out, you get access to your oil. Everything's in there, which is nice on the old models. Like the old one I used to have, you used to have to pop off the entire fairing to get at any of this stuff, so that's an absolute bonus as far as I'm concerned. Alright. So, nice start on it. You notice on this model here, like I said, this one's the manual with the reverse, so you're not gonna have any options on the left side here. It does come with an electronic shift, which apparently works pretty well. You can also get the electronic shift with the manual shift option, if that's the way you want to go. Nice display here. You can cycle through everything on it, which is nice. You notice I got 151 kilometers on it, so we're just over that first service. So it's been really good so far. I got about 10 hours on it. So my next service is going to be at 1,000 kilometers. 100 hours. So realistically, once a year or every 1,000k, most guys aren't going to put 1,000 kilometers on these things in a year. And then the only complaints I have is we'll leave this on. So we'll shift. So reverse shifts in no problem. And now, to get out of reverse, notice I gotta rock it a little bit to get it to pop. So if I'm gonna have any gripes at all, realistically that is the only gripe I can mention, is that it is a little bit clunky. It is a bit of a pain. I'm not sure why it is what it is. I don't know if they know exactly why it does what it does, but it's something they are aware of, and it's something that they did warn me about when I bought it, to not be surprised if that's what I experienced. So but otherwise, no issues. Everything, it works fine. It's just, like I said, it seems to be a little bit clunky getting past that gate. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it as far as the quad goes. So far, no major issues. I have no complaints. It's been a really good quad. It's tricky to find inventory right now. I mean, I lucked out with this one. They happened to be getting a second one, and I actually went in to put a backup deal on the other one that was coming in that already had a pending deal on it. And when they checked the computer and the shipping information, it had a 2 next to it. So it turned out they had a second unit coming that they didn't know about. So otherwise, it was a 1 to 4 month wait right now, I think, for a new unit, which is a bit of a pain, but that's kind of a byproduct of the market where we're at right now. But yeah, if you're on the fence or considering the Honda product, it's absolutely worth it. I mean, I've owned Honda motorcycles before. Never an issue as far as reliability. They've always been really good for me. This is the first Honda quad I've owned. I owned Polaris before this. To each their own. I'm not going to badmouth any other brands, but definitely have certain issues, preferences that the Honda so far has met that other units did not. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a quick review on it. If you're on the fence, if you're kind of wondering about one of these units, I think they're absolutely worth it. And hopefully we'll get a lot more use out of it, and we'll definitely get some more footage. And as I get more mileage on it, if anything crops up, I'll let you know. And so hopefully you guys are having a good off season so far, and we will touch base soon.